Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday here right now. Well, not morning, it is afternoon now. It is, I'm trying to look at the time, but it won't let me. It is 1:51 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, the 12th of August. And I thought I'd come in with a question and answer while I did some diamond painting. So, if you've got the time, grab your diamond painting, sit down with a cup of tea, coffee, soda, whatever you like, and let's get started. So, as you guys can see, I've done a good amount of my diamond painting, which I call Pretty Girl. It's been a lot of fun. I am finding a bit of a problem where the diamonds appear to be too tight, like too close together, so they keep wanting to pop out. So I'm continuously running over it with a rolling pin to make sure that they do not keep popping out. There's a few that I haven't bothered filling back in yet. I'll get to the end of it and run through that then. So, I've had a pretty full week this week. I have had, I've taken my mum to her chemo treatment. I have taken my son to his orthopedic appointment. So he now, instead of having a fiberglass cast on his leg, he now has a moon boot. But he's still not allowed to put any pressure on his foot on his leg for about six more weeks, and then they're going to see how he goes. So we're going to work up here. I hope you can see that spot up there. It's probably not the best angle, is it? I should probably put you guys somewhere else so my hand is not in the way. Or maybe I can just turn you guys gently around. Whoops. I can't see the screen, so I don't know what you guys are seeing right now, and I'm hoping that you can see this nice and clear. So yeah, I thought I'd come do a video like promised. Oh, I keep turning my light pad off with my hand. I thought I'd do another few questions so that you guys can get to know me a little better and know who is behind the scenes on these diamond painting videos. So let's get started. So the number one question: what is your favorite drink? A hot drink? My favorite drink would have to be coffee. I like my coffee with milk and 2 sugars and 1.5 spoons of coffee. And I like it I like it milky. I don't like it milky, but I don't like it really really strong either. So and cold drink, I would have to say that my favorite cold drink is Pepsi Max. So there, my favorite drink. need to drink more water. I know I need to drink more water. I know it's good for you, but oh, I don't know. I think I'm addicted to the fizz and the bubbles of the soda. So, all right. Next question. If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the extra time? Well, I think we can all guess what the main thing would be, and that would be to diamond paint. And when I'd get to the point where I'd had enough of doing the diamond painting for a few hours or whatever, I'd move on to something else. I don't know what it would be, but I'd probably catch up on housework and laundry and all that fun stuff. Not so fun stuff. So that's what that's what I'd be doing if I didn't have to sleep. What would you guys do if you didn't have to sleep? What would you do with your spare time? It's actually quite a cool little question, I think. All right. Next question. Are you usually early or late? Well, that would depend. I can be early if I'm not contending with bringing kids along with me, because I can just put myself in the car and just go. But it's a different story when I have to take the kids along, one being a teenager, one being a preteen. It's a whole lot of fun trying to get them organised and in the car, and we're mostly on time, but yeah, we have our moments where we're silly late because have to wait for them to get what they need and what they've forgotten, and yeah, so generally on my own I'm early, and with my kids I'm usually late. But that's the way it rolls, I guess. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there who have the same issues. Yeah. Welcome to parenthood. The joys. So the next question. What are some small things that make your day better? Well, just the little things like being asked how I'm doing, and a random hug here and there, and you know, a cup of coffee, watching all my favourite diamond painting YouTubers. I've also started watching traditional cross-stitch videos as well. I did cross-stitch years ago. I haven't touched one for years, literally years. And I would like to take it up again. Not crazily, but just the odd project here and there. So I had a look on, I know they're probably not the best quality, but I've had a look on AliExpress. I don't want to go all in on an expensive kit. Not when I'm just getting back to it, because yeah, it'd be pretty rusty. I don't even know where the last diamond cross stitch that I did has gone, but it was of a golden tiger on a black cloth. It was absolutely stunning. So yeah, I've purchased myself a little tree that's got love hearts on it on AliExpress. So once that comes in, I might do a quick little video, haul video, and yeah, once I start gaining my confidence back with the cross stitch, the traditional cross stitch, I may over time look at investing in a really nice kit, but at the moment the diamond painting's what's taking my attention. So, but yeah, I think you've always got to have something for those times where you just have diamond painted so much that you want to do something different, and just to take that break from it, I think would be really good. Just a few hours break or whatnot. So that is something that I'm very keen to rediscover. I like getting random little text messages from my kids while they're at school. It's just nice to touch base with them and make sure they're doing okay. And yeah, so those sort of small things, just someone being kind, you know, kindness goes a long way. Thoughtfulness, those things all go hand in hand, I think. And there you go. There's some of the things that some of the small things through the day that make me happy. I'm having trouble seeing these symbols up, and we turned it off again. So I missed a couple up here. Oh my god, I'm starting to get really annoyed with that. I usually have it facing with the main power button up the top so that I don't hit it, but I didn't this time, so we'll just have to I'll just have to keep reminding myself not to touch it. Try not to touch the on-off area because it's a touch one. So alright, so I'm going to move on to the next colour, which is this one. So I finally moved on to the face of the pretty girl, and I thought I'd skip a row instead of completing the one column and get some of her hair done. Excuse me, I'm tired. Because I think it's always nice to see it unfolding like that. I've totally given up on using the multi-placer. I think I prefer just to do the what do you call it? What's that? Checkerboard. Checkerboard stitch. I prefer it. I think it lines them up a lot better. Makes it look a lot neater. And I'm in no hurry to get it done, so what's your go-to band or artist when you can't decide on something to listen to? Well, that's an easy one for me. I would go to Pink. She always puts me in a good mood. Her music. Her latest album has got, you know, a lot of meaning to it, and, well, actually, most of her albums do. But my son bought me her latest album for Christmas last year, and it's the one I like to play the most at the moment. Another one that I would go to would be Aerosmith. I like Aerosmith. And one more would probably, or no, two more. There's In Excess, and there is, oh crikey, it just went out of my head. In Excess, and who's the one I was going to say before In Excess? Yep. It's totally just gone. Brain fart. I have forgotten who I was going to say originally. So yeah, they're my go-to bands or artists. So the next question, how often do you people watch? I don't find myself people watching, you know, all the time. But if I'm, say, at a shopping centre, like a mall or whatever, and I sit down and have a drink or have something to eat, I don't mind, you know, just observing and looking at people and wondering what, you know, what their purpose is, what they're doing, where they're going, what kind of, you know, what their likes and dislikes could be. And it's actually quite fun, as long as it doesn't become, you know, like quite obvious that you're watching them, and, you know, it can be quite interesting to make up little stories about people that are walking past or sitting near you, and it sounds really weird, I know, but it's fun. And as long as you're being respectful to the person that you're people watching, then there's no harm. So yeah, I wouldn't do it all the time, but yeah, every now and again. It's nice just to try and imagine what's going on in someone else's life, and yeah. Sounds a bit creepy, but you know, it's not really. Like, I know I don't really like being watched that much, so I don't go out of my way to watch people, because I know it can make some people uncomfortable, and you know, I usually don't look for more than half a minute or so, and yeah, anyway. Oh my goodness, they keep jumping out of the tray. So this diamond painting here has been quite nice to do. There's a lot of muted colours, with dark, not too much dark yet, but coming up to her hair, it's going to be quite interesting, I think. So that's the question answered. I'm concentrating on this and I'm losing track of my thoughts at the moment. No. I'll get it back. I still can't remember what the band was, so that's all good. It'll come to me when I finish. So, what was the best book or series that you've ever read? Well, I enjoyed reading a series from an Australian author called Kate Forsyth, and it was a series called The Witches of Ilianan, and obviously it was about witches and warlocks and dragons and changelings and all of that. And there was, I think there was about 8 or 9 books in the series, and I actually named one of my sons after one of the characters, and I fell in love with the name, and yeah, so he ended up getting that name, which is Lachlan. We call him Lockie for short. Another series, it was only a 2-book series, and it was one that my mum had on the bookshelf. And at the time that I picked up the first book, I thought there was only 1 book to the series, and I was absolutely enthralled. I was probably about 15 when I read the first book for the first time. I think it was school holidays, so I had, you know, all the time in the world to devote to reading my book. And I remember I got to the end of the book and I was so extremely sad because it didn't end the way I wanted it to end. It just seemed like it had stopped in the middle of nowhere, and I'd become so consumed in the lives of the characters that I just didn't want the book to end. And so I remember going to the bookshelf all sad and dejected and, oh, there's not going to be another book as good as this one. And as I'm looking through the books on the shelf, I spotted the second book. And I cried. I was so excited. And I read that from start to finish, barely putting it down. And it was by an author called June Lund Shiplett, and the series is, first book is Journey to Yesterday, and the sequel is Return to Yesterday. As you can tell, it's a time travel. This woman goes back in time and, you know, starts settling her life in a different era, set in America. And she'd gone back in time to, like, I'm guessing the Wild West time, you know, where there were wagons and horses, and that's the way they lived. And so yeah, and then towards the end of the first book, she accidentally, like, somehow ends up back in her old life. And of course she'd been gone for a few years, and her family had grown up and things were different, and her husband had been having an affair with, or had started a relationship with, her best friend. And in the end she tried everything she could to go back. She repeated the same thing over and over again that had first taken her back to that time, and it was unsuccessful. So yeah, and then in the second book, as you can guess from the title, Return to Yesterday, she ended up going back. And yeah, it was just a beautiful little book series, and I think I've read it about 10 times. I'd love to read them again. Another book that I really, really, really enjoyed was Time Traveler's Wife. I really enjoyed that book. And then I watched the movie and I swore I would never see... I will never watch that movie again. It is so contradictory to the book. Like, there's so many things that happen that are either out of sequence to the book, or they just didn't happen in the book. And yeah, I'd hyped myself up to watch the movie after reading the book, and I was very, very disappointed. I was cussing at the TV saying, that didn't happen that way. This is what was supposed to happen. So I'd love to get the book again and read it one more time. Yeah, 3 more times. It can be a bit confusing to start with because of the way it goes back and forth with the storyline, but once you get used to that, it is a really enjoyable read. I absolutely loved it. So I'd recommend it if you haven't so they're the ones I can think of at the moment. And just recently, because my oldest daughter is a bookworm, she's quite the beautiful nerd. She likes to call herself a nerd, geek. You know, loves her books, loves learning. She has like 2 or 3 bookcases absolutely stuffed full of books. And she's been like that since she was about 4. She's just absolutely loved reading. And she volunteers for a lot of book fairs and festivals, and she actually went to a book signing for Kate Forsyth, who was is the author of the first series that I mentioned, which is of Ilianan, and she'd asked me for my copy of the first book. I wonder what she wanted it for. And then, yeah, she brought it back to me, and it was signed on the inside by Kate Forsyth with an expression that she would use in the book a lot. And I thought that was just amazing. So, yes, I fangirled quite a bit when she handed that book back to me. So, that would be my few choices of, wind, it's windy, it's blowing everywhere. You okay, Coco? My cat's having a bit of a freak out because everything's blowing all over the place. Missing number 20. Number 20, there you are. Alright, so I think I've spent quite a bit talking about that question. So, let me get another colour, and then we will move on to the next question. So I want to work on number 19. And there's a diamond. You probably can't see it. It's probably out of zoom, out of the work area. I'm loving working on these darker colours at the moment, because the first bit was all like the shaded, muted pastels, and I'm just really enjoying the darks at the moment. So, next question is, would you rather go whitewater rafting or hang gliding? Well, my straight up answer would be neither. I'm afraid of, rapid running water. I've seen so many, stories of people drowning whitewater rafting, and yeah, I'd rather keep my feet on dry land. And hang gliding, again, fear of heights. I could never go skydiving, bungee jumping, parasailing. It's just not my thing. I can't even ride roller coasters that have your feet dangling free. It's just scares the bejesus out of me. So I like to go on rides where I know my feet are planted on something solid. I mean, I know it's not going to stop something bad happening, but just for my own sanity, I like to have it where there's something solid underneath. Because I think I just don't like that sensation of my feet dangling and feeling like I'm going to fly off the ride, and yeah. So no, I would neither whitewater raft or hang glide. So I know I'm a bit of a safe, boring person, but I have children to to consider, and my youngest son makes up for where I lack in adventurous things. He's an extreme adrenaline junkie. He's counting down to when he'd be able to go parachuting or skydiving, and I just sit there and go, how? You're crazy. But for him, the more exhilarating it is, the better it is. I mean, he would climb up the light poles outside on the street, and which were a good distance from the ground, obviously. And he would shimmy up the pole and then untangle his legs once he'd got to the top, and he'd shuffle himself across so he was just hanging. And I don't know how many times my heart was in my mouth, because all I could see was him just losing his grip and falling, but he never did, and I hope he never does. He wants to learn how to parkour. He's just he just thrives on the adrenaline. So yeah, he can make up for what I refuse to do for safety reasons. As you can tell, yeah. I used to like going on roller coasters and things like that, but as I've got older, I don't know why, but I just can't stomach the thought of going on one. Excuse I. So I don't. Simple as that. So we're going to try number 3. Number 3, which is the weird triangle. There's definitely some different symbols in this one than I've seen in any other Huacan. So, makes it interesting, makes it different. Something there, yes. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it from making them pop out, which is what they seem to want to do no matter what. I've tried to stretch the canvas a bit, and it hasn't made a difference. So we can now move on to the next one. What's the best way to start the day? Without a doubt, number 1 would be coffee. Coffee first, and then greeting every sugar, shit, damn. Come on. Sometimes it does this, it doesn't want to come back on for and then nice warm morning greetings for the family, and I think it's the best way to start the day. Okay, second last question, and then once I ask the last one, I'm going to finish up and upload the video. So my second last question is, what do you hope never changes? That's a big question, really, isn't it? I hope that my children never change, that they stay the beautiful, caring, considerate children that they are. I hope I never change. For the most part, I like who I am and what I stand for. I'd like to change, so in the reverse, I'd like to change the way humanity is going. It's becoming more and more greedy. People are forgetting their manners. People are forgetting their kindness. And I'm someone who can suck up everyone's emotions around me. And it can absolutely just be a soul-destroying thing. Just the nastiness that some people carry, the negativity that some people carry, no matter what goes on. People that like to preach one way but then do the same thing themselves. That sort of thing I would like to change, and I think it would make the world a much better place to be in. I would feel a little bit more relaxed about what the future is going to hold for my kids. Oh, wrong. Let's pick that off. Yeah. That's a house. It's not a diamond. So yeah, I hope that my children never change, but I hope that the world changes, so that they can be who they are. So that was a deep one, that one. Alright, last question, and this is even deeper again, but I'm an open book. Nothing to hide. You're not going to get to know who I am if I don't open up about some of the deeper things, and I won't get too deep because there's some things I just won't talk about, but alright, what are some things you've had to unlearn? Number one thing I've had to unlearn is self-hate. For a very, very, very long time, I have not liked myself for various reasons. I've had to learn to love myself. I've still got a way to go, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. I have had to unlearn that not everyone is an arse. Not everyone is out to get you, has ulterior motives. That's, again, taken quite a long time to recover from. I've had to unlearn my anxiety. I do suffer from very bad anxiety. It is controlled with medication at the moment, but I'm hoping at some stage I will be able to go off that medication and learn more natural ways of dealing with my anxiety. I've had to unlearn thinking that, you know, I'm constantly being judged, I'm constantly being scrutinised, you know, that I'm a failure, and it takes a long time to unlearn these things when your brain is wired in a particular way for particular reasons. It's very hard to unlearn those things because they've become such an not essential, but they've become such an ingrained part of your life that that's all you know. It's almost a safe way of thinking. So yeah, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of big steps, a lot of work to unlearn a lot of these things, like unlearning to talk yourself down. That's a big thing. Oh, my puddy tat, what's up? Luna, what you doing? Luna, are you popping in to say hello? You want to say hi? No? Okay. Luna is my daughter's cat. She's the black one. The baby to my cat, who is the Torby. So yeah, there's so many more things I could mention about having to unlearn, but they're just a few of the main ones that I've had to deal with and think differently and all of that. It is making me a better, stronger person for it, but, you know, all things take time, and you've just got to believe in yourself and let all of the negativity of your experiences be pushed back, because otherwise it's just a shit of an existence if you live by those sorts of ways. It's hard, but, you know, instead of getting up in the morning and looking in the mirror and going, oh my God, I'm so ugly, of getting up and looking in the mirror and going, my kids adore me. My kids think I'm beautiful. And then starting to, I'll never ever believe that I'm beautiful. But, you know, it's reinforcing in my mind the positive, not the negative, which is what I've experienced for probably half my life, my whole adult life. It was a lot of negativity and criticism, and so I haven't let all of that break me deep down inside. So that's always a good thing. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know how long this has gone for. I don't even know if it's still recording. I hope it's still recording. And I will catch you guys in a few days where I'll do another video. Get to know me. Anything you want to know about me, just write down in the comments. Thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you who have subscribed to my channel and have watched my videos. It's always reassuring that there's people out there that enjoy what you do. So until next time, guys, I'm Kathy, and you have a great weekend. Bye.